Hey nerds, welcome back to my channel. I'm Tirinei, and I'd like to talk a little bit about Mists of Pandaria for World of Warcraft. So everyone's been grinding away at levels or working on pet battles, doing instances, having fun with the new expansion. I know that I have mostly been questing and queuing up for randoms whenever I kind of get bored of the mundane questing. However, they've done a pretty good job of keeping the questing interesting. I'm working on the quest for the tillers a little bit. I find that pretty fun. I like it a lot. Other people are like, oh, get me out of this Farmville. If I wanted to play Farmville, it's there for me to play, but I play World of Warcraft, whatever. It's a little fun mini thing for you to do within the game. The faction of the tillers is really important if you want to max out your cooking and benefit the raid best that you can. Below will be a couple links in the description about the changes that they've done. They're changing the way that they're labeling the pets. Pets will now be pets, whereas the hunter pet window will be hunter pets. So that will differentiate a little bit. Now that pets, companions, were called companions, now they're called pets, because pet battles. It's not companion battles. So that's one thing. They're making a few other changes to minor tweaks to make some of the things in the new expansion make sense. Hotfixes will also be linked below. Some of the things I was glad they fixed was a bug that was causing, when you were on a two-seater mount, the person in your second seat or on your back, when you would cross zones, they would get dismounted, and sometimes DC. In one of my previous videos, I mentioned that bug that happened to me when we were running around working on some archaeology for the Darkmoon Fair, and so that's fixed. That shouldn't happen anymore. That's good. Also, something that happened with the launch was people were sending their messages 4 times. Something would go into trade, and if you just said it once, it would come up like anywhere between 2 and 4 times. So that should be fixed too. So less spam. Blizzard was spamming us with our own stuff. Also, I'll be linking the page on the World of Warcraft site that talks more about Mists of Pandaria professions such as cooking, archaeology, and inscription changes. The archaeology is going to be a little bit easier to do. I mentioned this in a previous video. Instead of having 3 things you can find in a dig site, they upped it to 6, so there will be less travel time involved in that. Also, when you get Pandaran and Mogu common artifacts, you can use them and turn them into restored artifacts and trade them in for a bag of artifacts for the race of your choice. At Exalted Reputations, you can also turn in restored artifacts for Lorewalker's Lodestones and Lorewalker's Maps, which are items that will teleport you randomly to an archaeology dig site. The maps, I believe, are specific to Pandaria, the dig sites, whereas the Lodestones, I think, are a little bit more random. So that's something that'll help with travel time, as well as just making it a little bit less mundane. They've added a lot of things to cooking, which will make it a little more interesting. The Iron Paws and the Half Hill Market will be a key point to visit when you're working on your cooking skill and mastering different sub-professions of cooking, if you will. There's a specialization in cooking for each major stat, and you can do all of them. However, it is said that it is most effective if you do one at a time. I grabbed all the quests after doing the Way of the Pot, which is the one you want to do for intellect-oriented recipes. And it's fairly easy. You basically pick them up from one of the pandas in the Half Hill Market, and then you do the part of that quest that brings you to the specialization master over behind her in the same area. I actually found it quite fun. Something kind of added to the profession to make it a little more diverse. They're going to have the feast that you can make, but there will be something to be said about the specific 1-portion servings that you can make. They're going to be better for you and all that good stuff. So to go the extra mile in the cooking will benefit your raid more. and there'll be a little more work involved, but I think that it's fun, and it like I said, there's something to be said about the work that's put into it. As you do the quest for the Iron Paw, they give you Iron Paw tokens, and you can use those to turn in for items that you can use to benefit you in cooking. The different items that give you the cooking bonus, such as the frying pan. You can get Pandaren banquets, which will help you get the best possible stats out of your banquets. The cooking school bell, which will summon Nomi, who will help you in your cooking adventures. And the flipping table, which is just what it is, what it's called. It's a flipping table. You flip it, and it's funny, and it's supposed to be like a way to unleash your anger or something. While doing the quest, you also learn how to grow your own supplies. There's a seed vendor over with the specialization trainers, and it's fairly close to the farm, so you can just go get the seeds and plant your stuff. And I think you have to wait 24 hours, and I don't know if it's a full 24 hours, because like the next day, early in the day, I had stuff. I don't know. I know it's about a day, and you go back and your stuff is either grown or it could be infested, which you have to use the bug spray on it, which is somewhere around the little farm, or it'll be parched, I think is what it's called, and you just use the watering can to give it some water, or you can harvest. And I don't know, it's pretty fun. Some of those items are also used for the socialization quests. For a couple of weeks, there's also been a few changes made to Inscription. For a couple of weeks, you will be able to trade in your Blackfallow ink for whatever inks you need. So make your tunes glyphs now if you have a lot of Blackfallow ink. In a couple of weeks, they will be replacing what you need to buy the ink to the current ink, which is Ink of Dreams, and then they will also put Starlit ink up for purchase. The main way you'll be learning your new glyph recipes is the Scrolls of Wisdom, which you can make once a day, similar to the inscription research that was implemented in the last expansion. The difference in Mists of Pandaria with this item is that the Scrolls of Wisdom will also be used for important items that scribes can make, such as Dark Moon cards. So that's good to know that you can actually get an item out of it as well that you can use to create other things. Shoulder enchants. So they took away some of the stuff for scribes. Mainly the, obviously the prime glyphs are no longer needed. So that's 3 whole things per character that you don't need. And they also took out relics. So they added in some things, some staves and other things that you can make in place of that. But also scribes, you will be even more useful because these shoulder enchants you can make will now not just be for you. People can purchase them from you, and they will probably be the most wanted because they took out the purchased ones from factions for shoulder enchants. Pet battles. I'm going to put a Q&A with Cory Stockton in the description below about pet battles. He gives a little bit of information for you. I liked the pet battles a lot. I got a couple pets to level 5. I'm curious as to what pets you guys are using too, so let me know in the comments. The pets that I started out using are the Red Protodrake, the Winter Spring Cub, and then the Ghostly Skull, which I love the first 2. They kicked ass right away. In fact, I didn't lose a battle for like the first 10, and then when I went to go train up my 3rd one to go fight the guy with 3 pets, I forget his name, the one in Red Ridge, I was going and fighting level 1 pets with my Ghostly Skull, and it kept like, he was barely winning. He was kind of sucking it up. But he does have a res, like he dies and then he resurrects, which is kind of cool. I'm not really a fan of it though. I feel like it's weaker than the other 2. So I think I'm going to probably put a 3rd one in place of that. I'm not sure. But I think the pet battles are fun. The thing that I like about it is you can capture other pets that way. So it's going to be a lot easier to obtain pets, and it's probably going to affect the way they do the achievements for companions, now called pets. When I first, and I didn't do this in the beta, that is one of the things that I did not mess with in the beta is the pet battles. Don't ask me why. I like for the new expansions to kind of be more of a surprise, so I'll mess around with it some, but I don't usually do a lot with the betas. Anyways, the pet battle, when I first went into one, I was so stoked that it was like a little mini Final Fantasy game. Like, I was like, what? That's so funny. Like, I loved Final Fantasy, but I like that WoW is obviously, the battle is not done that way because it's more diverse. But I thought it was cool that they did it that way. It was like, I attack you, then I back up, and then you attack me. I think it's cool that they did it the way they did it. When your pet dies, you can resurrect it, but the ability for that is on a 5-minute cooldown. But in Stormwind and other major cities, any place with a stable master, you can go and res your pets. It's like 10 silver or something. You can res them and heal them and get back to pet battling. They're implementing challenge mode leaderboards. That's on the first link that I put in about the Mists of Pandaria changes and new fixes and things like that. So you can go into the challenge mode leaderboard and compare your times with other people's times and kind of see where people are ranking at. So that'll be another way to see how other guilds are doing and things like that. They're also making some changes to the armory, I believe, as well, when it comes to looking things up and the way things are displayed. So that was some talk. There was some talk about that. But I'm excited about the leaderboards. I think it's cool that you can go in and see that stuff. I hope that everybody's enjoying Mists of Pandaria. I know that I am. Speaking of which, I'm going to go play it now once I'm done editing and uploading this video. So if you liked or disliked this video, please let me know in the comment section below. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. And I will talk to you guys next time. Alright, bye-bye.